Hi guys, Andy here. Got another comparison video for you today, this time between three devices. The Motorola Moto G, the Sony Xperia Z1 Compact and LG's Nexus 5. Hopefully I'll be able to coordinate my fingers well enough to do the comparison, but I thought they're all a reasonably similar bracket, although the Moto G obviously is cheaper. Actually the Nexus 5 is probably next, and then the Xperia Z1 Compact being actually the most expensive device, but still only about £400 brand new from clove.co.uk, for example. So I do all the usual tests. Like I say, I'll try my best to manage to start them all simultaneously where that's important, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, I should point out, totally stock, custom ROM based on stock, so it's not a totally fair, you could say, but it is, like I say, it's based on stock. It's not like it's heavily altered. Performance wise, it won't be that much difference. We're going to kick things off with the Angry Birds test, hopefully. Now this is where it's going to be tricky. Interesting. So that looked to go Nexus 5, Moto G, Xperia Z1. Let's try one more though. It's looking like the same result. The Z1's taking a little while to initially start up. I'm not sure why there's no sound coming from the Z1, but strange. So first, second, third. So there also you can see we have the Moto G on 4.4.2, the Nexus 5 on 4.4.2, but the Xperia Z1 Compact on 4.3. We see the memory comparisons, and we can also see the processor comparisons there. Now we're going to start all the benchmarks up. It doesn't totally matter that they're not started exactly the same time, because it's more going to be about the results at the end. As usual, I won't bore you with the whole thing. I'll come back to you in a moment. So I can tell you the two on the right, the Z1 and the Z1 Compact and the Nexus 5, both took basically the same time to run. The Moto G, I was waiting a good minute or so, and you can clearly see the differences in the scores. Interestingly, single core, the Z1 Compact beat the Nexus 5, but multi-core they exactly matched. The Moto G lagging a long way behind. I'll just let you see some of the information below. Might be important to you. So you can see actually the single core integer M5 did a little bit better, the multi-core a little bit worse. We got floating point further down the bottom. Please feel free to explain what this all means to me. Floating point, the Nexus 5 actually did a little better. Memory, you can see the Z1 Compact does a lot better. So there we go. Those are the Geekbench 3 results. Here we are with 3D Mark. Interestingly, the Nexus 5 tells us this test is too light for your device. It doesn't tell us that on the Z1 Compact. The Moto G I think is probably going to struggle, so we're going to do the unlimited one though on each one. As before, I won't make you watch the whole thing, but I'll leave it running for a little while just so you can see some of the graphics. So, as with Geekbench, I was waiting quite a while for the Moto G to finish, and that's clearly shown in the results as well, scoring only 4,674. Quite interesting, the Z1 Compact, clearly the winner over the Nexus 5 though, 19,042 against 17,860. So, as I say, a clear winner for the Z1 Compact. Now, my theory was going to be, turn them all on, let them all get a GPS lock, and then wipe the lock and get them to do it again. Now, where's my menu button on here gone? There it is, sorry. So, tools we want. Tools. Oh, I can't do it on that one. So, reset the GPS state, come all the way back out. I'm going to try and let them all at the same time. So these two quite quickly recognise that there's 9 satellites there. The Moto G, not seeing anything at this point. The Z1 Compact, seeing another 2. It's got 2 of them locked, 4 of them locked, 5 of them. Now, remember, this is indoors. I'm a good 2 or 3 meters away from the window, so it won't be a good place for GPS. I do sometimes move it over close to the window to do it, but I'm being a bit lazy basically. It looks like the Z1 Compact can lock anyway. So there we go, the Z1 Compact's locked. The Moto G still hasn't even recognised any devices, any satellites, and the Nexus 5 knows 9 of them are there, but hasn't figured any more of that yet. I would point out, outdoors this definitely has no problem, so don't be watching this video thinking, oh, I won't bother getting a Nexus 5, GPS doesn't work. It does work, it's a bit trickier indoors, but the Z1's done very well to lock down to a 13 metre, 14 metre accuracy indoors. Well, that does have an APS, unless it doesn't, and that's why it says A4. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. The Z1 Compact wins the GPS test. Okay, I'm going to try a little bit of a speaker test. Got my M&M lined up.
Tell me where to go, tell me what to do. I'll be right there for you. Tell me where to go, tell me what to do. I'll be right there for you. Tell me where to go, tell me what to do. I'll be right there for you. Tell me what to say, no matter if it's true. I'll say it all for you. Tell me what to say, no matter if it's true. I'll say it all for you. Say, no matter if it's true. I'll say it all for you. For you. For you. For you. For you.
I used to be the type of kid that would always think the sky is falling. Why am I so differently wired? I used to be the type of kid that would always think the sky is falling. Why am I so different? I used to be the type of kid that would always think the sky is falling. Why am I so different?
So, jump in a little bit.
I'm fine long as there's batteries in my Walkman. Nothing's the matter with me. Shit, look on the bright side. Put tires on, headphones on, straight ahead. Kids try and start this. They're kind of giving me confidence instead of trying to escape through my comics. Why don't I just blast a little something like?
I think it's a tough one to decide between these two perhaps. The Moto G probably has a slightly louder sound, but the Nexus 5 may be slightly better rounded, a little bit better bass. I think, to be honest, the Z1 Compact comes last in this one. It's not got a volume, it's a little bit tinny, in my opinion. I don't know how well that's come across on the video itself, but that's the way I'm going to go with it. I'm actually going to go Nexus 5 as the winner, Moto G a very close second, and the Z1 Compact last. Moving on to the browser test, I'm just going to show you I'm going to clear browsing data on each device. Then we're going to try and open each one at the same time. They're all connected to exactly the same Wi-Fi. I think that was very close. I'm not sure that could just even have been, because it was the Nexus 5 came at first, then the Z1 Compact, then the Moto G, but that could have been just me not quite tapping exactly the same time. I maybe have to let you guys decide that. We're going to go for Engadget next. Almost identical, the Moto G slightly behind. Let's give it one more. Ooh, the Z1 just snuck ahead. The Moto G clearly the loser in this test, but interesting challenge between these two. So browser test, probably a dead heat between these two, the Moto G clearly behind. So I think all in all that was quite an interesting set of results. You could argue that it goes in price order. Clearly the Moto G came last, and then the next expensive is the Nexus 5 and then the Z1 Compact, and you could perhaps argue the Z1 Compact won, but very close. If you start talking about value, very different matter. £100, I think £240 now, and £400 all of a sudden. I don't know, which would you tell me? Tell me in the comments below. Value wise, well, first of all, which of the two devices did win, and secondly, which is the better value? Is the Nexus 5 better value than the Z1 Compact? There you go, my name's Andy, I'll catch you all again soon.